Fucking cat.
Kamal. Good evening. Welcome to the new party. I'm Nora Christine.
I'm about to give a really unpopular opinion, and I'm sure it's going to be especially unpopular amongst women.
I'm Gray Mars. Break a record by being with 100 men in one day. And right after she was done, she recorded a documentary.
I'm a vegan weed. Call yourself fresh and wear the same weak ass turtleneck on every show. Goddamn. Then we got goddamn the Sudanese Sambo. Bruh, man.
And I'm Enzo.
Bringing up in my lives is they're like, oh well, he's violating the Constitution by having a meme coin and him making money off it in office and everything like that. I was like, if that was the case, like there would be lawsuits up the ass and impeachment in court.
I'm skeptic. Like I always say, don't let anybody trample on your constitutional rights.
I'm Mia. That's not a correct power dynamic in my mind. Typically, the people that are trying to be removed are not in control. That's why they're easily being removed.
The government, states, they start putting these RICO acts on Diddy, all of these guys, and try to put it on these ongoing criminal organizations. I ain't never seen the government put a RICO act on the KKK.
Switch happened. Come on, man. You got to acknowledge this. This is the problem that I have with elders like you, because you fail to acknowledge that this stuff has happened.
If we sit there and be old school, we gonna miss the boat. You know, a lot of this kids 19 years old buying houses with Bitcoin, buying Maserati.
Wow.
A lot of people owe Elon Musk an apology because Elon Musk said, I believe in June, during his split with Trump, just weeks before the war in Iran began, Elon Musk, if you recall, he said publicly, the reason Trump won't release the files is because he's in them. Does anybody remember this? I don't know about you, but I feel like that was memory hold. I feel like nobody is talking about that. Nobody has discussed that in the slightest. But when Trump and Elon split around May and June, Elon said Trump will not release the files because he's in them. He said, and this will come to light eventually, screenshot for when it does. And he was right. And somebody asked me last night, and it's a salient question, how did he know? Now we know. We know how Elon knew. Because Trump knew. Elon knew then because Trump knew and probably told him. Trump was told by the Attorney General and the Deputy Attorney General he was in the files and most likely disclosed that to Elon in some private conversation. Or Elon found out through the DOJ in some other way. But that's how he knew.
Disclaimer. The views and opinions expressed on this panel show are those of the individual speakers and do not necessarily reflect the views or positions of this channel, its affiliates, sponsors, or production team. This content is intended for informational and entertainment purposes only. Viewer discretion is advised. We encourage respectful dialogue and critical thinking around the topics discussed.
Party. Why I like the new party? Number one, it's a group of people that's on a panel. We all have differences, but we all basically still come together at the end of the day. The new party for me is about unity. The new party for me is about educating people to the truth, letting people know what's been going on in our country. With that being said, shout out to the new party, man. We're going to keep it going with y'all.
Welcome to the new party. I'm Nora Christine.
I'm Gray Mars.
I'm Kamal.
I'm Mia.
And I'm Enzo.
And tonight on the New Party, we have a very, very, very busy night. We're going to kick it off and talk about Candace Owens. What you saw earlier was a teaser for the main topic of the night. There has been a bombshell report that's come out that said Trump knew for months that he's been on the Epstein file. I played the most little racist shit you'll probably ever see, Nicholas Fuentes. But a broken clock is right twice a day. He has gotten a lot of things right. I got to give him credit. I may not agree with his ideologies, but he has been right on some things when it came to Trump. And this happens to be one of them, I think. But we'll get into that. The first topic we're going to get into again is going to be Candace Owens. Candace Owens has been ripping and rolling for weeks regarding, or months, I should say, regarding Emmanuel Macron's wife. She alleges that she's not a she. Let me play this clip and then we'll get into it.
That's the point I'm making. So give us a sample. I'll send my doctors to take your blood. Figure it out real quick, however you want to go about this. Hey, how about just giving us some pictures again of you growing up, raising your children? That would be fine. For whatever reason, to phone, by the way, like I said, we'll get to the bottom of it, right? That is what Discovery is for. We're going to ask a lot of questions. You're probably hoping, this will go away and at least we'll say we sued her. We'll say we went after her. She'll probably file for this to get dismissed. I'd like to make it to Discovery. I think that we owe that to the world. Anyways, you guys, we are revolting against this. We're revolting against the perverts that run the world. And I want to be very clear here. I count you among them. I think you're sick. I think you're disgusting. And I am fully prepared to take on this battle on behalf of the entire world. Okay? That's what I'm going to say. On behalf of the entire world, I will see you in court.
So, where to begin? It's a 22 allegation defamation suit. Mia, what's your thoughts? Is she going to get sued for everything or will she prevail?
I mean, I actually watched her docuseries on this, and I mean, her evidence is extremely compelling. And I mean, Brigitte Macron, everybody has pictures when they're kids. We can't pretend that Brigitte Macron is not 120 years old. They had pictures in the 50s, 60s, and 70s, and the 80s. I mean, this woman, if you look, there are no pictures of her before the age of like 50 years old. She met her current husband when he was 15 and she was his teacher, and she was 40 years old, allegedly married with 3 children. His family removed him as a teenager from her school because their relationship was so inappropriate. I want Discovery. I can't wait, because even if she's not a man, she's still a pedophile, because the fact that his family removed him from the school entirely is evidence enough for me that they had a disgusting relationship. Point blank, period. So either way, even if she doesn't win on the trans part, she'll definitely win on the pedophilia part. For sure. I think them suing was the stupidest thing possible, because it is going to make it to Discovery. And now they're going to have to turn over everything.
Well, they said it's a global humiliation and relentless bullying. Skeptic, you advocate for women and women's rights a lot. What do you think? Do you think this is an attack on a woman, or do you think there's some truth to this?
I don't know. Like, I think it's interesting. Like, I've actually listened to her videos on this on YouTube. I don't know why, but I think it's interesting that the president called her to tell her to drop it. I don't know, that's a weird thing to me. I just feel like the way that people act towards something, sometimes there's things hidden there. So maybe there may be more information to be found. I agree with Mia. I think this probably wasn't a smart idea. Had it been me, and also it feels like a bluff. It almost feels like they're doing this to intimidate her. And I feel like they've done multiple things to intimidate her. But the court system is a way to break your bank. They can prolong this in the courts and you have to pay all this money. And at the end of it, you just lost a bunch of money, So is it worth it? I don't know. I wouldn't want to be in this position. I would have just been I don't know that this is the hill to die on, but to each its own, I guess. She's better than me because she's putting it all on the line for this.
Yeah, and they gave her warnings, guys. They sent 3 letters. They asked her to retract the story. Enzo, do you think she should have backed down, or do you agree with her doubling down on this?
I mean, at first, I thought it was just some stupid little bullshit. I just found out about it 5 minutes before I got on the stream, first off. I thought it was just some stupid, like, oh, we're just trying to call her out for being trans, whatever it is. Candace Owens doing her thing, whatever. Mia just completely flipped the monopoly board, said, fuck this, I'm taking my cars and going home. And the whole pedophilia thing, no. I want this to double down, triple down, quadruple down, Candace. I want the truth to come out there, because if that shit's true, what the fuck? That's crazy.
Mm-hmm. Well, this is unusual, but they say the context is sitting head of state suing a private commentator. We haven't really seen it before, but they are public figures and actual malice must be proven. Gray, do you think that they are going to have grounds for actual malice based on the things that she said? She did a deep dive. She's alleging, just so you guys also know, that her brother, she took his identity and the brother is really her. And she's saying there's a brother, but she is the brother, if that makes sense, Mrs. Macron.
I always feel like this argument is weak to attack people's genitalia. I just feel like it's not going to get you anywhere. And if you're wrong, I think you should have to pay some sort of damages. I don't know who Michelle Obama should sue, but she need to sue somebody too. And just to speak from a personal story, a family member of mine is a politician, and they got a check from this Republican. And he was like, oh, I had to bring you down here because I wanted to make sure that you're not a man. And she was offended. And then so I just was like, well, you taking money from these people that, of course, they're going to say. He gave her the money, but it was to say like an insult because he's talking about Michelle Obama. So, like, I think it's crude. I think it's just like, unless you are with that person, leave their genitalia alone. That's my thing.
Well, everyone on the line knows about the rumor about Michelle Obama, right? I'm not going to say it, make sure, because I know. Yeah, I'm sure. Skeptic, you know what we're talking about?
Yeah, it was like racist white Southerners that were saying all this BS,
Okay,
yeah.
Fair enough. Kamal, what's your thoughts? Do you think there's meat to this tea, or do you think it's all baseless?
First of all, shout out to the chat. You feel me? I see y'all in there. Second of all, I don't know who the fuck these people is. Who the fuck is Macron? That sounds like a dish, a side dish.
The Prime Minister of France.
Okay.
Candace Owens is alleging that Mrs. Macron, his wife, is not a Mrs. She's really a Mr.
Interesting. I don't give a flying fuck. I'm gonna be honest about this. I'm just like, oh, I don't know shit. Like, is she?
So why this is important is basically a lot of conservatives and people on the right have conspiracies, and the thought that there's an agenda attacking, the whole gender thing, the whole alphabet community, all of that. That's what it all ties into. I'll be honest with you. That's why it's relevant, because this would prove this global agenda is really happening, and that this is one of the biggest cover-ups next to the allegations of Michelle Obama, which I personally don't believe that Michelle Obama thing. I think it's wild. I think it's crazy. But this was pretty. The way she laid this out, it's diabolical. There's no disputing it.
How you spell their name? Cause I'm gonna look this woman up, see if she has an Adam's apple or not.
Bridget Macron, Brigitte Macron, Macron.
I didn't know that that's where this derived from. But my thing is that you guys heard, y'all did watch the video where she says that the president called her. They were going to have some kind of agreement. And he personally called her. She had like a friend that works in the White House tell her, hey, higher ups are saying you need to let this go. Right. And she was like, I'm not going to let it go. And then the president called her and told her, like, we're trying to come to an agreement with France. And one of the things that he literally pulled him aside and said to him was, do you know who Candace Owens is? We need her to drop this story, which is like, I was like, this is so the most random thing. So I don't know.
Well, that saying, where there's smoke, there's fire. And they're just kind of like proving this little bit of theory, because usually, most outside of Trump, most public figures, especially prime ministers, royalty, they don't comment on anything because it's beneath them, because it's not true and they're not going to waste their time. But the simple fact is, like, all of these major players are throwing her name around. They're talking to each other, and now there's a lawsuit and all of these things. It's like, well, maybe there is some fire over there. Maybe she is onto something.
So wait a minute. So Candace Owens is saying that Bridget Macron is a transgender?
Is a he, correct. Is a transgender. And when Bridget Macron met Prime Minister Macron, he was Mr. Bridget, Mr. whatever. And that was his teacher when in his like 30 something, and the boy was 14, 15 at the time.
Wait a minute. So she was fucking a 14-year-old?
Allegedly. And language, we're on TikTok.
Oh. Shoot, how you say the F word in TikTok? Freaking? Is it that?
Yeah, freaking.
Yeah. YT too?
Oh yeah.
I'd say YT.
I mean, I agree with Gary with it, like kind of not being our business. The what I'm not understanding is, I guess it makes sense now with what you're saying about the conspiracy. But how is it part of the conspiracy if this administration is supposed to be anti the rainbow community, and they themselves were telling her also to kill the story? Like,
because
I don't get
the negotiations are important, and she's blocking. He's pissed, mind you. He should be more pissed about that video of him getting slapped in his face by his wife, but nevertheless, he's pissed, he's embarrassed. I get it. Hey, I would call up too. My wife doesn't like this story. You need to kill it. You need to dead it. And I agree with you, Skeptic. What is this going to change? For me, it's not going to change anything. I don't give a shit. Like, excuse my French, I don't care. Like, I really don't care. So I'm with you, Skeptic. I don't think it changes anything. And how we get against this, woke thing that conservatives are concerned about is you get back to family values. That's to me how you get against it. But instead of whatever. But you get what I'm saying, Skeptic. I don't care. Me personally, I don't care.
Yeah, because like I never understood why she cared so much, but it makes sense that they're like aligning this to a conspiracy. But then the conspiracy doesn't make sense because the president, who is supposed to stand for family values, is saying to kill the story also. But I can see how this could be a very annoying thing to come up against, like your family type of thing. So it may just be that. I don't know. But I will say it's gonna cost you some money, because when someone with money comes and takes you to court, it's going to be expensive. So you better stand 10 toes on what you're saying.
Well, she's married to a very rich, powerful man from the British royalty. So, they got the coins. They'll figure it out. But nevertheless, that was a good talk on that one, guys. We're going to switch gears and transition here. Oh, what were you going to say, Kamal?
I mean, y'all see her picture? Do y'all think?
Share the screen. Pull it up.
All right. Okay.
Greg, can we do a poll? How do we do a poll? Kamal, you should do a poll on your page.
I don't know how you even do that shit. Hold on. I can share my screen though. All right. I'm sharing my screen right now. Y'all gotta
Okay, well tell me when it's up.
Y'all seeing it right now?
Yeah. Well, can you click on one picture and zoom in?
I'll click on one that had me get the heebie-jeebies right now. She look like she in the scary movie.
All right.
God damn.
Click on that one.
Jesus Christ, man. I don't know, man. I ain't gonna say Candace Owens is right, but I ain't gonna necessarily argue against it either. She aging like spoiled milk right now. God damn. Yeah. How old is she?
Like 60s.
60? I ain't gonna lie. I thought she was 82.
I was gonna say she aged bad.
Good Lord. Man. I don't know. Shit. But Candace Owens been known to be lying though. She be bullshitting at times, so
fair enough. Well, guys, let us know in the chat. Is Candace right? Is it BS? Is it a mean allegation? Let us know. But we're gonna move on. And Anna Kasparian went on Paris Morgan and made waves. We're gonna break down and give details on what she's talking about. Guys, if you're watching, please hit the like button, tap the screen. Thank you so much for watching.
That's the point I'm making. So give us a sample.
Oh, well,
I'll send my...
my bad, wrong clip. We just can't get away from this. It's a conspiracy, guys. Here we go.
Wild one.
For humanitarian aid. Dozens of people get shot and killed literally every single day, as they're waiting for food. No, I'm not gonna let you filibuster, bitch. I'm not gonna let you filibuster. I'm not gonna let you filibuster. You guys are totally okay with IDF soldiers shooting and killing desperate people waiting for humanitarian aid. You're okay with that. I find it so unbelievably evil. Unbelievably evil. It shocks my conscience and my soul that people as evil as this exist in this world. Okay? Watching these images, looking at these videos, seeing all these kids desperate, hungry, parentless, trapped in Gaza. And you're sitting here and you're defending it. I can't stand it. I can't listen to it. The filibustering is unbearable. It's unbearable.
On top of this, it was announced today that the special envoy, Steve Witkoff, appointed by Donald Trump, has announced a decision to cut short.
I want to announce the results to your poll. 80% of the people say, yeah, she's a man.
God damn.
There you go. Justice for Candace.
Wild.
W. Candace. I mean, I don't care either way, but justice for Candace. Nevertheless, getting back to what we're talking about.
Fuck Candace Owens. Ain't no justice for her coon ass. She be speaking that coon shit too. F that. Nope.
Well, anyways, U.S. Special Envoy Steve Witkoff, appointed by Donald Trump, has announced a decision to cut short ceasefire negotiations in Qatar and withdraw the U.S. negotiating team due to a lack of desire and saying that Hamas is not acting in good faith. So, with that being said, when will we see the end of this? As you guys can see, Anna's very passionate. People are very passionate. There are hundreds of children dying each week from starvation, from being unalived by bombs. We can no longer continue to look away as Americans, and that's why we're going to talk about it tonight, because this is a big thing. Skeptic, what's your thoughts?
I agree, and I agree with the feeling. I feel like if you say that you're going to stand for injustice, the fact that people are standing in line for aid and they're opening and pew-pewing them, literally, like, that is diabolical. So, like, I understand also when, like, you speak to someone and, like, you're honestly bringing facts, or you've really looked into this and you're not just talking off the side of your head, and someone just sits there and they're like, whatever. It's kind of like, it just kind of frustrates you. It makes you go into, like, this, it makes you go off. But I understand the frustration of that. And I feel like maybe we don't talk about it enough. There's so much going on also here that we're trying to, like, also handle, but we can't forget the things that are happening in other countries, because we are a part of it. America has a hand in this. And so our taxpayer dollars are going into and basically supporting the people that are oppressing and unaliving children. So I feel like there is more to be said. We don't cover it as much. So I definitely feel the sentiment behind it.
Yeah, I mean, the humanitarian crisis there is worsening. Over 1,000 deaths related to the food line, the food distribution. 20 people, I think, including children, fainted yesterday from starvation. Enzo, what's your thoughts?
So, I'm going to agree with Skeptic. These are things that are not talked about enough. Absolutely. I think it's absolutely disgusting what the IDF is doing. I do not stand with Israel whatsoever. Never will. Never did. More needs to be done. Not just from the United States, because there's been plenty of countries that have classified the IDF as a T group at the end of the day. Why are none of these other countries stepping into? Why? Like, that's my biggest question. You guys classified them as a T group. Why is nobody around the world doing anything? And this is all over the world that this is being reported, that this is going on. Why is nothing being done? Yes, I wish more from our administration to get away from AIPAC and Israel whatsoever to stop this humanitarian crisis going on over there. But then again, we can't rely on them to do so. So this needs to be a world thing. This needs to be a human thing. This needs to stop and end altogether before there literally is no life left over there.
Well, speaking of AIPAC and the world and all of that, today France announced that they will be recognizing Palestine as an actual state. Coincidentally, we all this going on with France. AIPAC also released a statement in turn. Gray, what's your thoughts on all of that?
France created democracy, so I'm not surprised they're the first people to be, like, we're going to take this drastic step as far as like, equality or however they want to see it. It's a big issue with what's going on over there. I know they try to use the Bible and, they're trying to measure who has the actual rights to the land. So yeah, it's a horrific situation, and yeah, taxpayer dollars is going to it. And the far right and the far left actually both agree on this for far different reasons. But those two groups don't normally align, so it's obviously an issue.
Pretty much. Mia, what's your thoughts on all of it? Now that we've ended talks, will we ever see an end to this in sight?
I guess I try to never bring up race on anything. You guys know that. I hardly ever talk about it. I almost never bring it up. But I will say it's interesting to me that the entire world was ready to help a bunch of YT Ukrainians with way less of humanitarian issue going on. But we have an actual genocide happening, like a legitimate genocide happening to a group of brown people in a brown area against European YT J people, for lack of a better term, because they're all European, and nobody wants to do a single thing. And this is it. It's definitely a racial thing, and I know it's because Palestinians are brown, and the J people in Israel are white European, and that's 100% why they're doing an ethnic cleansing of the land. That has been their goal since the early 1900s, is to ethnically cleanse the Muslims out of that land and to take over. And the fact that we are leaving goes to show that Palestinians will be ethnically cleansed. Unfortunately for them, like this is it. I truly believe we will watch them all perish. Nobody has stepped in. Egypt, none of them have come in. And now that we are leaving and we are declaring that Israel, basically we're giving the victory to Israel and we're giving them the green light to do what they want. It would not shock me by Christmas time if most of them were starved and gone, because that's what Israel wants, and Israel always gets what they want.
Well, less of them to move right now that they're being starved out. Hey, they wanted them moved. They wanted them gone. January. Let me tell you when I realized that things were over for me and my faith in this administration. In January, when he announced he was going to move them instead of helping them, that's when I said, oh, okay, more of the same. And for me, everything else at this point, it's not shocking. He's on the Epstein list. Sure, I'm not going to defend it. Do I regret voting for Donald Trump? I do not, but I don't like what's happening. This is my number one issue, what's happening right now with those children in Gaza. Kamal, I know you usually say I don't care, but you should care because $3 billion of your tax dollars are going over there. What's your thoughts on the issue?
Shit, it's fucked up what's happening to them kids over there. But like I'm gonna say, I'm gonna keep minding my Black American business, because we got a lot of Black American kids over here that's ain't got resources for them. So with that being said, like I said, it's fucked up what's happening to them kids over there. But we got a lot of Black American problems over here in the goddamn States that I need to focus on. So that's my stance on it.
Well, obviously nothing can be done on our end, but something can be done by speaking up and saying we don't want our American taxpaying dollars going over there. And that's, for me, I would be okay with that. If we stop funding it, I don't necessarily want our troops to go over there. Let me be clear. I'm America first, and this is not necessarily an American issue. So I agree with that. But we can't say we don't care and we keep sending our money over there. You get what I'm saying? It's a parallel to it. It's like, if we don't care, stop sending money there. But nevertheless, sorry, go ahead, Kamal.
At the end of the day, shit, they giving fucking reparations to white folks in New Mexico for a bombing that happened 80 years ago. I wish I could say, like, I don't want my money to go to this, to go to that. I want money to go to this. I want to go to that. But damn it, at the end of the day, shit, you got to pay taxes or throw your ass in jail. That's what they going to do, or you ain't going to be paying for nothing. So that's how I feel about it.
Yeah, I mean, clearly we can't have like a wish list, but we can use our voices to speak against it and say, hey, this is where I'm at. I don't want my money going over here. And this is why, because I'm not okay with children being unalived, being starved out, being bombed, being maimed, being killed on a daily basis. I'm not okay with that. And I don't want my money going towards that. Sorry,
I did want to mention, I don't know if you guys have seen the new Superman movie. But when I first saw it, like number one, the first Batman to me looks like Stephen Miller, and the second one to me was Bibi Netanyahu. Like hands down, that was the recreation of what's going on there. Not even as bad. It was not as crude. It wasn't as realistic as what's going on right now in Gaza. And you can like it touches you when you see the children, and when you see, like, I don't know if you guys watch the videos, but I get so emotional to see that, and just to realize that that's going on at the same time as like I'm living in 2025. So I do think that, I know, like I did say, you know, there is a lot going on here also, but it's like we just got lucky and we're born here. And, you know, it just makes me like think from the other perspective of it. So I just wanted to mention that. I haven't even been able to mention the whole Superman movie, but I don't know if you guys watched it.
Yeah,
but
let
they
me
did
plug
do.
that. Me, Nora, Kamal, Doc, and a politician, we did talk about the Superman movie. And Nora and Kamal were the only people that did see it, but we talked about it and the comparisons to Israel, everything like that. So if you want to see our response, go on to YouTube, Superman Review 2025.
Yeah. And I talked about for the first time, I said this is a genocide, and it was a short and got 10,000 views. Skeptic. So they didn't, surprisingly, YouTube did not censor it, and it did take off. But nevertheless, we're going to move on. So this is something, you know, we try to have a balance here. So, you know, Trump has been in the hot seat, but now Obama's in the hot seat. Tulsi Gabbard officially announced he's referring the Obama investigation to the DOJ. Let's watch this clip and talk about it.
The November 2016 election concluded that Russia had neither the intent nor capability to impact the outcome of the U.S. election. On December 5th.
We've been listening there to the Director of National Intelligence, Tulsi Gabbard, continuing on what has now been a multi-day effort, not only with public statements like this, but release of documents to attempt to back up the quite extreme allegation that President Obama is guilty of treason and that he worked in some sort of conspiracy with Hillary Clinton, etc., in the assessment by the intelligence community at the time that Russia interfered in the 2016 election.
So Enzo, you got the hat on. What's your thoughts? I gave you one win tonight. I gave you one win as being a part of MAGA.
First off, Doc MAGA Rogue. Yep, MAGA Rogue on TV again. I think this is absolutely needed at the end of the day. I'm not going to sit here and say, like everybody else will say, that this is a deflection from the Epstein files. No, this is something that needed to happen. Okay. They have the intelligence, they have the paperwork, they have everything to show that this did happen. This is interfering with the election. They want to sit here and say Donald Trump interfered with the election by trying to count the votes in Georgia and got him with a mugshot. Do the fucking same. Keep the same energy and do exactly what you did to Trump, to Obama. I don't want to hear that this is deflection or whatever it is. Fine, if it's deflection, defer this for a month or two when the whole Epstein thing comes out, and then let's bring this back. Let's get a mugshot of Obama. Let's get him for treason and do exactly what they need to do with him at the end of the day and hold all of these people accountable, because this was the beginning of the end with everything that they did to Trump from 2019 all the way to 2024. This was the beginning of the end because they couldn't get him with this. So they tried the court cases. They tried the assassination. They tried everything else. This is the beginning of it. And I want to see this through to the end and see every single one of them end up just like how they tried to get him. Keep that energy. That's all I want.
And to be clear, to give background, what they're alleging is that the findings, they have treasonous conspiracy by Barack Obama and senior officials who she claims manipulated intelligence during the Russia-Trump probe. And she's saying that pretty much they faked Russia's involvement, that this is all a conspiracy. Gray, you are a diehard Democrat, blue no matter who. What do you think about this? Is Obama going to be in handcuffs?
I would be super shocked if Obama is put in handcuffs. I would be even shocked if Trump was even to go along with it. I don't really see it happening. I don't even see Trump going to jail. I didn't even think Trump was ever going to go to jail. So no, I don't think Obama's going to be arrested. I do think that this is some type of distraction. I think that why are they doing this now? I mean, we talked about this so long ago, and I would think if you're going to blame anybody, why aren't you blaming Hillary Clinton? So that's my approach on it, because she had the most to gain from it.
Fair enough. That it's a lot to be said. Are we going to see treason? Is he going to have presidential immunity, skeptic?
Yes, I mean Trump fought for it in 2024 and won. So he got immunity for presidents, and that goes for all presidents. Also, like Gray just said, why didn't he do this during his first term? Why did he wait until now when he's on the hot seat to try and, pursue this? Very interesting. He had a whole 4 years, in 2017 through 2019 through 2021, 2022. So why is it that he's just now trying to pursue this and put it's all smoke and mirrors? It really is. Like, you see what's happening. He sent someone down to go talk to Ghislaine Maxwell, and now they want her to come out and make a statement. Prior to this, they didn't want to have her say anything, but now that they've talked to her, they want her to come out and say something, right? So it's like you're seeing the way that they're moving forward. You saw the Wall Street Journal come out and say that the DOJ told him in May that he was in the files multiple times. And what did they say to MAGA? What did she say? 10 toes down, stood there and told conservatives. They lied to you in your own face, and you're okay with following their tricks. Like, we got to wake up a little bit, that's why they call us woke, because we are awake. They can't get this past us, but they can get it past you. It'll look you straight in your face and you will eat it up. So it's wild to me now that he didn't pursue this prior, and he fought for immunity knowing what he was going to do this time around. And now he wants to go back and get Obama. It's wild. It just makes no sense.
Man, people going crazy in the chat. Thank you to Kelly Corinne for the $1.99 super chat. She sent hearts. We really appreciate you. All love. Nevertheless, skeptic, I'm going to say this, and this is the issue I have with both sides, you guys and MAGA. Everybody has to fall in line or you get kicked out the crew. So I don't want to be part of either crew. I'm independent. I think Mia knows what I'm saying because she's the same way. Kamal is apolitical. If you don't fall in line, you get kicked out. I think people are starting to wake up with the whole Trump thing. I'm gonna be real with you. And my issue with Trump is, if you're not on it, why are you doing all this? Or if you're on it, just admit it. I'm on it. I was his homie. I was his friend. But you guys are tripping because, like, simply put, the Democrats have faked it. Y'all know how they are. Just get ahead of it. But my issue is he's not even doing that. He's not saying anything, which is worse than just admitting some fault. Nevertheless, Kamal, are we going to see President Obama in chains?
In chains?
Arrested? Locked up? Because that's what they want, right?
Nah,
it's funny, but
he's not about to get locked up. That's not about to happen. You feel me? I just feel like, look, man, both sides is doing it. The Democrats be talking about old shit that Trump did. Now Republicans talk about old shit that Obama did. It's all a game. You feel me? And who is it? Who is this Baby Joe Pfeiffer? I'm
blocking them. You're being put in a timeout. If you write anything racist in the chat, you're being put in a timeout because they keep writing the N-word.
I guess we made it, because now this is happening.
We got trolls now. Exactly.
I know, right?
God damn. You feel me? But yeah, Obama not gonna be in. No, that sounded wild though. You feel me? It's like it changed.
I mean, they want him. Yeah. Come on. It sounds wild, but that's what you should see the memes I'm seeing. They want him hung. They want him in chains. They like this. I'm not gonna lie, y'all. Obama's not my favorite person in the world, but some of the things I've been hearing has been wild. I'm not trying to make it a racial thing, but it's been a little uncomfortable for me. That's all I'm gonna say.
It is a racial thing.
I'll be honest with you.
Where do you see it? I don't see none of that anywhere. And I'm on Twitter all the time.
What?
I don't see none of that.
On Truth Social, yes.
Yes.
I don't really go on Truth Social.
I don't know.
You got an account at Truth Social?
just to follow Trump. I literally made it just to follow him.
Yeah, skeptic.
He goes.
Down.
I'm telling you, I go deep in this. So I literally made an account because I wanted to go see all the craziness that he posts, and I like go in there and like see what he posts on there. And that's where, if you want to go see what conservatives are talking about, what MAGA's talking about, go to Truth Social because they let it out there. They get for real. They show their true colors on there. They say all the words they want to say. So you think you're part of the club? You go see what they post on there. It's a bunch of racist stuff. That's who they really are.
I mean, when I see the race, I'm gonna be real with y'all. I get the racist comments anytime I fall out of line. Any person of color, and you can ask patriotic baddie, anybody part of the right, you fall out of line. That's when the racist stuff starts. I'm just being honest with you, and the left does it too. So don't act like they don't. But anytime you fall out of step, that's the first thing they do. They say racist stuff. When I made the Turning Point video, go watch it. They said lots of racist stuff. That's all they said was racist stuff.
Hey, Doc asked a good question in the chat, though. He's saying, are conservatives and MAGA synonymous?
No.
I think they are.
They're not.
I group them all together because conservatives allowed MAGA to come in and basically camouflage themselves with conservatives. So I group them all together. It's all one for me, one monster.
I see it. For me, that seems disingenuous and that doesn't feel fair. I understand there's a difference between Democrats, there's a difference between leftists, and there's a difference between liberals. I understand that at core, there are a lot of overlapping. If we had circles, there are overlapping, but I understand as a whole, there are three different types of people. And if Jay's watching, he went through it and actually like told me the definition from all of them. So shout out to Jay. And so our old friend Jay, who used to be, you remember Jay? Yeah, Jay.
You messaged me today. He comments on the content still.
Yes, so he taught me that.
Yeah.
So he taught me that there's a difference between the three. And to be honest, when it comes to conservatives, you have Republicans, you have conservatives, you have MAGA, and then you have almost like a fourth, like libertarian, which are for small government, stay out of everybody's business, which is kind of where I fall in. If we had no social net programs, I wouldn't cry. I don't want the federal government at all. I don't want the FBI, CIA, none of it. I think it's all a waste because it tramples on people's rights. But you have to admit that there is a difference. I don't feel like it's fair to lump everybody into the Democratic thing or conservative thing. We are different.
But it's a two-party system, right? And conservatives do this to liberals. They call them snowflakes. They call them woke. They call them all these things. And everyone gets categorized together. And they do. Like, that's just what it is. Like, I am on here. I hear these people. They come talk to me. They don't ever ask me, are you a libertarian? Are you a progressive? I mean, that may be to you guys. But in the real world.
I asked you, skeptic, remember? There's progressives. There's liberals. And there's Democrats. Is that fair enough? Like, that's what I'm saying. Y'all are different.
But I'm saying.
Too.
I know. I'm saying you guys, right?
No,
y'all may be a little bit more well versed, but the truth of the matter is, to the average person, MAGA and conservatives are synonymous, and snowflakes, leftist, liberal, woke people are all in one category. I mean, the progressives, they all you either are for everything or you're for, all these things that the conservatives want to put in place. Like, that's how people see it. It's all or nothing for everyone.
Damn. Wait a minute, Enzo, do you got a Truth Social account, bro?
I do, but I don't go on it.
Oh yeah,
like I literally just go on it. I just go on it to go look at what Trump posts. That's it. I don't literally scroll through there and see what everybody else posts though, because again, I mean, yes, there are a shit ton of racists on the right. There's a shit ton of racists on the left. They're in both groups at the end of the day.
Yes.
I'm not going to put myself in a space where I'm going to be grouped in like those people. End of story. That's not me. That's not how I think. I'm not gonna surround myself around y'all. I literally call that shit out all day long. So miss me with that.
Also, Enzo, they about to not be considering you white pretty soon. There was a clip out of but they delineating over there on the white side too. Maybe that's a discussion for another day.
That's fine. That's fine. I'll do it for you. I am not YT. I do not claim YT. I am Italian. Leave it at that. We are our own race.
Oh shit.
They said they got to delineate on the white side too. They're Native Americans, FWAs.
Native Americans are considered white?
No, Native American is
Ray, do you have the clip? Do you have the clip?
No,
I'm
I
about to
don't
say
have
I've been lied to my entire life. Though I'm not.
Oh my God. Well, it was one progressive versus 20 liberals. And there was this white tea man that said he needs to that whites in this country need to delineate. And there's Native Americans, and they're considered the white tea people, and they're different too. I don't know. I don't have the clip up, so I'll move on. But we should have had that one. It went pretty viral though. Nevertheless, we'll transition to the main topic of the night. I'm gonna try to find it, Enzo, because I want to get your opinion on it. But
RJ funny.
what he's saying?
FWI, foundational white Italian.
Oh my God.
People say the Italians ain't white. I'm Irish, damn it. Shout out to Heaven. She's a part of the Man Cave show. Very interesting show you guys had last night. But nevertheless, guys, we're going to go to the toughest topic of the night. Trump knew he was on the Epstein list. I got to play this clip from Trump. He did a press conference this week, and it's interesting what he's telling his supporters and his people. Hold on, let me pull it up. Here we go.
And we have it cold, hard, blue, and it's getting even more so because the stuff that's coming in is not even believable. So, and you should mention that every time they give you a question that's not appropriate, just say, oh, by the way, Obama cheated on the election. You'll watch the camera turn off instantly. But I want to remember this, Obama cheated on the election. And we have it cold, hard, blue, and it's getting even more so because the stuff.
Man, he gave clear direction. Enzo, is that what you're saying on your lives? Remember this, Obama cheated on the election. He gave you a blueprint on what he wants us to say. What's your thoughts on that?
I mean, we haven't really been talking about it on my lives much. Nobody's really been bringing up the Obama thing. I mean, I've brought it up a couple of times. Everyone's like, oh, that's fake documents. They literally just made those documents. Those documents were never there. And I go, okay, what if the roles were reversed? And Donald Trump and Joe Biden said, oh, Donald Trump tried to do this. Would you guys believe it? Oh, absolutely, we'd believe it. That's literally what people told me. I go, so what's the difference now? It's the director of national intelligence that's coming. They're like, well, I would rather read off of this opinion piece over here to actually get my facts from, not from the director and the national intelligence who Trump appointed. I'm like, so this is literally just a Trump thing. Okay.
Oof. Mia, you there? My bad, Mia. I did not mean to skip you. I'm so sorry. What's your thoughts
it's
on
all right.
Well, actually, this all ties together. So what's your thoughts on the investigation, and then on Trump telling everybody to just focus on that?
I mean, honestly, I feel like it's smoke and mirrors at this point in time. I can think of far worse things prior presidents have committed. Do I believe there was election interference? Sure. Do I care? I don't give a fuck. We know, excuse my French. Sorry, TikTok. We know they're not going to arrest Obama. We know no judge is going to convict him. He was president when all of this happened. And I mean, there's no point. It's like we have to let sleeping dogs lie. I mean, there's worse things that happened. I mean, Nixon took us off the gold standard and destabilized our entire country. Bush and Reagan imported crack cocaine from Colombia and dropped it in the middle of the ghetto, destabilizing the Black community. There are way worse things that have happened in this country to Black Americans and people of color, way worse than a little bit of election interference. I'm sorry. There's just way bigger fish to fry at this point in time. I think we just need to let it go and move on. It's kind of ridiculous at this point. He's not going to get arrested. He's not going to go to jail. It's a vendetta, and I get it. It's a revenge thing. But at this point in time, we have way bigger things to fix in this country.
Hold on. I got to get some. You was cooking. God damn. Woo, shit.
And I almost forgot, we have Carter and the Ayatollah crisis, which also started the destabilization back in 1979 of the Middle East. I can go on and on of way worse crises that way smarter people have committed compared to Trump and Obama. I'm sorry. We need to move on and worry about actually fixing this country.
I got one for you too. Bill Clinton got head in goddamn White House. That was a tragedy, wasn't it?
Well,
yeah,
this
and
is
he led
what
in all private equity too.
First time.
This is what Donald Trump has to say to
Be
you guys.
crooked, Joe Biden.
Sleepy, crooked Joe Biden. You have to remember that, Mia. Like, we got to get back to that. Gray, what's your thoughts?
Trump is known for being great at marketing. Trump is a great marketer. Trump knows how to put on a show. And whenever Trump is backed into a corner, he goes to just making stories and saying stuff. And that's what I think this is. This is, okay, they're trying to put me on the Epstein files. Let me give them something to talk about. And that's what he does.
Kamal, what's your thoughts?
Shit, we know he on the list. This starting to sound like old news at this point. I'm sorry. This sounding just kind of repetitive and shit. And it's like, we know how Donald Trump is, man. Like Gray said, he a great marketer. He out here trying to be like, hey, look, Obama cheated. We don't give a fuck, bro. We don't care. It's the same when the Democrats talk about, you done talked about grabbing by the puss in 2000, was it 16, 17? It's like, it's old news, bro. We don't care, man. This shit is like, come on. And if bro's on the list, what happens to Trump? At the end of the day, if bro's on the list, what happens to Trump? The same thing that's gonna happen to Obama. Not a goddamn thing. I hate to agree with my hyena Prince Bawana, but all this shit's a nothing burger. All right, at the end of the day, that's just how I see it.
Also, I don't believe he's on the list for being with me personally. I don't believe he's on the list for being with girls. I do believe he's mentioned though, but I believe he's mentioned for kicking it with Epstein in some capacity. Maybe not little girls. And I'm being fair, but this is what Trump has to say to you, Kamal.
Silence. President Trump? I really don't know what he said at the end of that sentence. I don't think he knows what he said either. Well,
Skeptic, what's your thoughts? We're after Skeptic. I'm gonna play the clip to get you guys' thoughts on the Jubilee thing because that was the other trending thing this week.
Well, I think he called his own base foolish, right? And like dumb or something because they wouldn't let go of the e-files. Again, like it's like so obvious what he's trying to cover up. I also think that we have an excerpt from his past book that he wrote where he says he has this mysterious Jeffrey guy who is helping him with his finances or is helping him with his books. I want to say that we know who that mysterious Jeffrey man is now. So I think there's going to be other things. I don't just think that they were friends and he was just on there. I don't think that Pam Bondi would have covered something up if it wasn't a big deal. Like if it was him just in there a couple times for hanging out with him, the files would have been released. Believe that. So I think that multiple, powerful men are in the list, and that's why we've seen so much people kind of like not releasing it. But let me tell you something, and this is really my thought. I think some Republicans are tired about what's going on, Republicans in the House and Republicans in the Senate, and I think that this is a perfect opportunity for them to vote to have this man finally be done away with, and I think he would be impeached if information comes out because it's going to be released. And I think that Republicans are working in the back end of this and are turning because they didn't like a lot of the things that was happening. You saw it almost break. You saw JD Vance say he almost didn't vote for the bill. So I think that this is going to be either going to make this administration stronger, or it's going to break them apart and this man will be out of office. And I'm hoping that it's the second thing.
You muted, Nora.
You're muted.
Or it's a way to usher in JD Vance, who's going to be way worse than Donald Trump because I'm just going to say that. It's going to be a way to usher in JD Vance, who has more propped up by other billionaires. I don't want to get into it tonight than Donald Trump. And it's going to be way worse.
Are you talking about Peter Thiel?
Oh, you said it. His mentor, he's the protege. They're the ones over Planet Terror, the surveillance state that's been input into Gaza. Yeah, it's going to be worse. But anyways, this is what Donald Trump has to say to you, Skeptic.
In Springfield, they're eating the dogs. The people that came in, they're eating the cats. They're eating the...
Y'all got jokes today, I see.
Nevertheless, We're going to go to the last topic of the night, guys. So you guys know the one person versus 20 people. This guy did it. He was the one progressive. I believe he's from, he's Indian, Indian British. Yeah. And so this is him. And this is a very interesting clip. It went viral. Let's play it.
I am Native American. Whites are Native Americans. What are you talking about?
You're not.
Whites are Native Americans.
Really?
I think
What was happening before the 1500s?
I think you're getting confused with it.
I don't mind going on a tangent, but what was happening before the 1500s?
Calm down. I think you're getting.
What was happening before the 1500s?
There was indigenous people here that came here from Asia.
Do you know what indigenous means?
Listen, before
indigenous
America,
people can't come from somewhere else.
Why do you ask a question if you're going to interrupt?
I'm not sure if you know what the meaning of indigenous means.
I do know what it means. It
doesn't
means
sound like
they came here first, right? They came here from Asia by way of land bridge. Have an argument with Neil deGrasse Tyson or anybody else about that. I don't care.
Is he an American?
I genuinely don't care. Yes, he is.
Okay, just checking.
My point is, okay.
Nothing to do with crime. So far, you've agreed with me that these people are
Because you're
criminals.
derailing, dude. I'm trying
You
to stay on
literally
track.
sat down and asked me where I'm from. I think you derailed this conversation from the get-go.
By that, but I'm
not offended. I'm just wondering what it has to do with crime.
I'm always curious.
We're going to talk about immigration. Don't worry. Later on, you can come back.
I hope so.
Right now, you're doing a very bad job of making the case that he's not pro-crime.
I just got a round of applause. I could probably get another one actually if I asked for it.
Wow.
So I don't think I'm doing
this. Is this how you
bad.
get rounds of applause? You sit in a room with 20 people who agree with you. Wow, amazing. Amazing. That must make you feel good.
You know what? I'm
20
actually
people
glad
agree
you're
with
getting
you,
this
applauded you.
emotionally outraged right
Wow.
now. This is great.
I love it.
Do I have to say anything at this point, or are you just going to keep going?
Please.
Okay.
Make your claim.
My claim is that I don't care if it's pro-crime. You want to go back to the topic of conversation?
That's fine. We agree then. He's pro-crime.
But
and
I
you
have
don't
a
care.
question for you, though. Do you care on the opposite side of the spectrum?
Yes.
Do you care about law being administered to the opposite side of the
Yes.
spectrum?
I think anyone who assaults a police officer shouldn't be pardoned. I think that Donald Trump shouldn't have pardoned 9 Republican members of Congress who were convicted of crimes, and I don't think Joe Biden should commit. I don't think Democrats should pardon Democrats.
Fair, but I don't think you.
So pretty much, we see more cultural appropriation. They're taking the FBA, the foundational. Doesn't it sound the same? Gray, we talked about this privately. They're taking it. They're using it. This is what whites always do. No offense. They take something from the Black community and they do their own spin on it. So pretty soon, I predict we're going to hear FWA. They're the natives. They belong here. Gray, what's your thoughts?
Kamal, this is you and your FBA people's fault. That's my first thought. And like to me, it was kind of like a mix because he was trying to talk about like cave people and like how they walked because of the ice age and everything like that. And the guy last night, I can't think of his last name, but Andre, where he was like, "Oh, Black people being the first people is a Black supremacist issue." I think you got upset about that in the comment. But basically, like it's just science. Like they're just studying this and saying, "Hey, this is the oldest body we found. It was African. Like so, we think this is where we derive from." And then when they talk about Native Americans, they're talking about science and history. Hey, these people were here. These people come from Europe and they're over the equator, so they look a certain way. So I think that we're escaping science and caring more about social society, where it's just like what makes these different ethnic groups feel good and makes them get along or work in society rather than what is actually scientifically proven.
Doc, you right. That motherfucker was tap dancing. Andrew Hamilton looked like a motherfucking singer from the 70s with his punk ass.
Shout out to Andre.
Man, he one of them smart, dumb motherfuckers. You can't have two supremes. It's illogical. You can't have white supremacy and Black supremacy, you ignorant motherfucker. Anyway, first of all, Bwana, put the cheetah goddamn piss milkshake down. It's making your brain fried right now. You feel me? Saying the whole delusional as FBAs, bro. Still appreciate you, bro, even though you smell like goat piss. Gray, brother, why is it our fault that they trying to be $5 Indians? Like, this ain't nothing new. You know the crying Indian? That motherfucker wasn't Native American. He said it his damn self. He said he was I think he was Italian. I think he said he was Italian. But he was faking the funk and saying like
Italians.
Christopher Columbus. So technically, y'all might have a argument for that.
Because he said he landed in America, right?
Yeah.
He didn't find America. He found the Bahamas.
Bahamas, there you go.
Yeah, he didn't find America.
He was all off that lying motherfucker. But can I say mother effer on TikTok? Should I say MFer?
I don't think you can. Just say MFer.
All right, MFer. I forgot we on TikTok, but we been cursing like a mug. Anyway, Gray, brother, you say it's our fault, the foundational Black Americans, the lineage. What we're saying is America wouldn't be created if it wasn't for us. Because we know before that, you feel me, when certain white settlers came in the 13 colonies, this is a known fact. After a while, they was eating each other. They was having barbecue Bob on Tuesday because they couldn't. They was like, it ain't enough game out here, so Bob, you looking plump right now. We gonna have to eat you, bro. It's a known fact.
Well, that's because they decided they wanted to unalive all of the Native Americans, but the Native Americans were the only ones that actually knew how to grow corn, because most people don't realize corn actually has to be cultivated. Corn isn't something that just pops up. You actually have to plant it. You have to cultivate it. You actually have to nurture corn, or back then they called it maize. So, when they unalived all of the Native Americans, well, the Native Americans were the only ones that kept the land prosperous and actually able to survive. So that's what they get. They deserve to eat themselves. I mean, that's like the Lord's karma for them at this point in time.
Damn. You're right. You're right about that. You feel me? I do have a question to ask the panel, though, for real. Do y'all believe there were darker skinned Native American tribes already here on this land, such like the Seminoles?
Oh, God, don't get us started on this.
I asked it. I opened up the can of worms. What y'all
Laura,
think?
give your answer first. Oh, well, skeptic.
Nah, I don't want to say anything because this is like one of those things. You darned if you do, you darned if you don't. Especially me. I'm never black enough, not white. So nope, I'm not answering.
Well, I'll say this, like, because when we talk about like genetics and we talk about like indigenous people, we can track down where someone comes from depending on where your genes come from. But it's interesting to note this, and I've had this conversation before. The creation of race was done by Europeans to be able to categorize us depending on our physical attributes, correct? So not just, it's like geographical, cultural, and then the way that you look. So presenting. So when we talk about Native Americans, we have different types of Native Americans. And when you see people move from one place to the other, when you migrate, depending on elevation, depending on where you live at, the sun and other, whatever's going on in the atmosphere, right? Your attributes will change. So, and like I have indigenous blood in me because I'm Mexican. We have Ririmuri, and we are kind of like descendants of the Aztecs. My grandmother's name is like an Aztec name, right? That's been inherited throughout my family. So like, I don't necessarily, and I've had these conversations before with indigenous people, they get very angry, but I don't say that there isn't archaeological proof per se that the Moroccans traveled and got to the Americas, and that there may have been some African ancestry. We can track that down if that is a truth, right? But I think that to say that the transatlantic slave trade did not bring Africans to America would be just it's like factually incorrect, because we know that this did happen. Like, I'm just saying that we have facts to say that this actually happened. Although this doesn't take away from like indigenous people. If there was migration from Africa to Native Americans, the majority of, when we look at genetics, indigenous people have Asian descent. When we go back down through the haplogroups, which I think is important, because I studied my ancestry when I was in college. I went to school for molecular and cellular biology. I actually had my mentors who were like chemists, and I have like geneticists that were able to kind of break things down to me and explain to me why my gene pool comes from a certain area. So I think like we have to stay factual, but I'm not saying that we don't have archaeological evidence that there may have been travel. I just think that overall, you can't conclude that because you don't have the facts to like say that as a conclusion, if that makes sense.
And so it because Laura, you didn't have an answer, right?
I mean, my answer is this. I agree with half-heartedly what Skeptic said. For me, some of the things I'm hearing, it's almost like there was no transatlantic slave trade that dropped people off, that hopped along the islands and dropped people off to the islands. To me, I'm very confused with this definition of what Black is now. I'm very confused with, are they Native American? Are they African? Are they part European? It keeps changing depending on who you speak to. But the overwhelming thing is some of them don't want to be attached to Africa at all. And I understand that there's no roots in the sense of, you don't have family there currently. You feel like you're not connected. But a lot of the things we see right in American culture are from slave times. They're from traditions. They're from different things like that came from Africa. So I don't know. I'm confused. So whatever, I just go with the flow. Whatever y'all say, the definition is, your history is, fine with me. That's all I'm going to say.
Mia?
I mean, there's a lot of compelling evidence to say that there were Africans here, that we did migrate, which, I mean, it would. People like to think that Africans didn't have boats and they didn't migrate. They migrated everywhere. Even when we were still Pangea, we migrated everywhere. And that's how we have people on all 6 of the 7 continents. So I feel like there definitely is a possibility. And if you kind of take a look at the numbers, I will say from a mathematical standpoint, during slavery, there was 388,000 imported Africans, but we're 40 million 200 years later. So that kind of goes to show that clearly those numbers don't quite compute, considering we even nowadays have, 1 out of every, 5 of us still die in childbirth, so on and so forth. And if you can imagine in slave times, how many children were unalived and how many women didn't make it. And we somehow, from those meager numbers, made 40 million 200 years later. The math isn't mathing. So clearly something happened. Clearly we were here before, mathematically speaking, because you can't go from less than 400,000 to over 40 million in 200 years. That's quite
well,
a
I'm
jump.
going to play devil's advocate. Well, clearly, a lot of them weren't from slavery, and they were dropped off other places, and they immigrated here. And that's my argument I have with the whole FBA thing on why. I understand you want to delineate, but I think a good chunk of this country would not meet the definition of foundational for Black. So then, at that point, it would need to be a whole nother race, because according to the definition for Black, according to the census, it's Caribbean, it's African, it's people that came through the transatlantic slave trade. It's all of that encompassing. There needs to be a new definition then.
Well, and can I answer to someone in the comments?
Can I chime in real quick? Skeptic, you could go first, and then I'll chime in after you.
Well, I'll just say this, yes, and this is why I always tell Latinos that we are not white tea. Latinos should not. I feel like we get grouped in with white tea, and that's why the census is off. And white tea people think that they are, their numbers are a certain way that they aren't. Also, they put in a lot of Middle Easterns in there. They have put a lot of Asian people and have included them. The more lighter skinned people, they have began in the census to include them into their numbers. So I will tell you that, and I'll also say this. I think that we can, with science, we can break this down. And I'm not going to say that there wasn't influence from Africa, or there wasn't connection to Africa, particularly with the Olmecs. I do think that there could have been connection, but I don't think that you can make the conclusion that all indigenous people came from Africa. That's the distinguishing factor for me. But I will say that Mesoamerica and the Africans in Egypt and in other areas, if they did travel from Morocco, there are some things to me that seem to be the same, particularly the way that we created pyramids, the way that we constructed things. To me, it does seem logical that there may have been some migration. And again, you have to take into account that when you migrate, the genes will be able to track this down, because we can test you, we can see geographically where you came from. And also, I feel like there's a connecting factor to me. And there are some archaeological evidence, with the heads that they have from the Olmecs, which would make sense to me because of the way that the Aztec built. And the Aztecs learned from the Olmecs and from the Incas. There was a connection between Aztecs, Mayans, and Incas. So it would make sense that if there was some connection with Africa, then that's how we got some of the information that we had. Just saying.
You wanted my answer, Kamal, or you was about to say something?
Yeah, let's get your answer first, bro, and then I want to say something.
For me, like I know there was a Jewish tribe in Africa that was like they found out, they did the DNA, they found out, okay, these people are actually Jews, even though they're African, and they got some rights in Israel and rights to stuff like that. And also, at one point, there was whites enslaved in the U.S. and there were blacks here, and then it changed at one point to it being just blacks only as far as like slaves. So I'm pretty sure they didn't have like documentation to say, okay, these people got here this way. I know Thomas Jefferson, if I'm not mistaken, I'm pretty sure it was him. It was the person that said that he went to the Bahamas and then that he saw that Africans were better slaves, and like that's how all of this started. The guy with the Hamilton movie, Alexander Hamilton, he was the person that talked to Thomas Jefferson. So for me, I would just say that, you know, we would have to have some scientific evidence. I'm from the deep South, and what this reminds me of is that like every black person I knew would be like, "Oh yeah, I got some Native American in me." That's what it reminds me of from back then. That's what I think about when I hear the FBA stuff.
All right. First of all, Bawana, put the hippopotamus nuts down. It's frying up your brain in the chat. We don't know what the fuck you're talking about. The cheetah piss milkshake got you going crazy. Second of all, Mia, you cooking with hot ass grease right now. God damn. Third of all, foundational Black American is a lineage, and we had an ethnogenesis. That's why I keep saying it, the inception of America, right? When the United States was created, you feel me? We were here. You know what I mean? You got to think. The Africans that came from the boat, mixed and mingled, got the with the native black tribes because they called them Negroes too because the Europeans classified them as a race. And also them white folks, they were too. The damn slaves. It got all mixed in, which then we had an ethnogenesis, just like Jamaicans, just like Haitians. It's that thing. It's like, why we don't call y'all African Haitians? African Jamaicans. Y'all had
well, correction. They do have that delineation in Jamaica. I can't speak for Haiti because I'm not from Haiti. But RJ, confirm in the chat. We have races in Jamaica. You could be, you could be European Jamaican. You could be Chinese Jamaican. You can be Indian Jamaican. So we do. But we're all. But see, the difference is we're all one people. Out of many, one people. That's the saying for Jamaica. Again, I can't speak for other countries, but also they don't. I can only speak for Jamaicans in the sense of we don't sit there and say, oh, well, we're better than Black. I can't speak overall collectively. But for me and my family, we don't think like that. So that's the problem I have, too, with some of the FBA talking points, because we don't do that. And we don't come from that. We don't think like that.
Nor, this is the thing. And that's all I keep trying to tell everybody. It's a lineage. It's 43 to 45 million of us. Not all of us gonna have sense. You can't say the FBA talking points. You got to point. You got to pinpoint, because that's like me saying, like, man, all you Jamaicans say bumba clot and cook fucking jerk chicken. Y'all know that shit ain't true. But I'm saying it's like we gotta start realizing it's a lineage. It's so many of us. You can't be like, oh, the FBA talking points. Y'all like this, because I'm like, yeah, I'm a foundational Black American too. Do I talk like that? Dana with the data is a foundational Black American. Does she talk like that? Kelly Corinne's a foundational Black American. Does she talk like that? I mean,
Yeah.
Go.
Kelly talk like that.
Like what?
I'm just messing with you. But I want to know Izzo take. Izzo.
Hold on. Can I say one more thing?
Kamal, take the floor.
Can we pull this comment up? Bawana, the hyena prince said, why is the lineage trademark? Well, ask Jesse Jackson why African American is trademark, goddammit. Then when you get back to that nigga and you get his answer, then I'll give you my answer. All right. Enzo.
So, when it comes down to it, I'm a firm believer that all of civilization started in Africa as well as the Middle East. So, for with that being said, yes, I think there could be different or people of color to come to the Americas from the Middle East and as well as Africa because of Pangea and everything like that, and that's how everybody got here. Other than that, you can look at migration before the Great Slave Trade and everything like that happened. Yes, a lot of people came to the Americas because of the Great Slave Trade. That was a terrible thing that has happened. So that's the way that I look at everything like that. I don't specifically think that like these are like when God created Earth, like he just plopped these people in certain areas and said, "This is where you guys stay," until people start mixing and mingling you guys together. No, like I don't really think that. I look like I said back to Pangea before or after the dinosaurs and everything like that, and that time. So my whole thoughts on that.
Well, I mean, it's recorded that, like, I just want to say this: the transatlantic slave trade was one of the biggest forced migrations that has ever been like done in the history of like our world, right? So and I'll say this because today we had this conversation. Sometimes I understand FBA because sometimes I'm like, yo, some immigrants are foolish, man, and they just really don't have no respect for education. And y'all make us look bad. So if you ever come on our live, we're going to tell you, educate yourself. And it's not our job to educate you, because immigrants will come from Haiti and from the Dominican Republic and think that they don't have any African ancestry. Like, you were colonized, but still, when you come to America, you're not white tea. So, you know, I understand that there's a lot of anti-Black conversations that immigrants have. And I understand where the sentiment comes for FBA to be able to trace down the lineage. And like, I get the basis of it. I think I've just seen the most like radical part of it on TikTok, which is wild. They talk wild. So like, we have these conversations all the time, but I will say it's important for immigrants, and it's important for everyone to like understand how colonization affected what country you come from, with Dominicans, Haitians, Mexicans, everyone, because these Europeans came in and they instituted hierarchies based on your color, and colorism is a big detriment to our communities. And so like, that's why these conversations get so heated and people get so like emotional, because of your ignorance. You have not been able to understand why in our communities, like, being seen lighter skinned is correlated to a higher economic status. And it's such a dumb way of thinking. And that's why immigrants get a bad rep, because we do not want to learn American history. Same thing that we said earlier today. Just wanted to say that.
And,
Jamaica.
I wanted to respond to Skeptic. See, the thing was, and see what I was trying to get your bro Casso to understand is that you're meeting people on TikTok within the lineage. You feel what I'm saying? It's a massive amount of us out here. I keep
Kamal,
saying,
you need to jump on the live. I will add you on. I'm a mod. I literally will add you on. We have FBAs on there all the time. Come up.
That TikTok shit be getting on my nerves. I ain't gonna lie to y'all. Like, I have a hard time listening to the lives on TikTok because I see what y'all be saying. The people on TikTok make fucking sense.
Wait, hold on, guys. 1 second. Mia, you want to do your closing thoughts?
Sure.
All right, go ahead, Mia.
It was a good episode, a great panel talk. I hope everybody has a good night. And honestly, don't think Obama's going to get arrested. Brigitte Macron probably is a man, and I hope everybody has a great weekend.
Bye. Have fun.
Have fun.
All right, peace out.
Bye.
But
Kamal, like, no shade. You are the most reasonable and nicest one out of the whole arguments, because again, both sides get very passionate. I'm not going to just say it's FBA. Okay. And again, this is where I say I toe the line. I'm not siding with the Black immigrants. I'm not siding with the FBA. I'm in the middle. I see both of your points, but you are the most reasonable, because I think when both sides talk about it, sometimes it comes from a place of hurt and hatefulness. I'm sorry. That's how I feel. And it's not one side over the other that I feel that way about.
And this be my thing. I think a lot of motherfuckers be grifting. They ain't really trying to learn. And when you online, you have an online persona, and most people online persona, not their offline persona. All right. Some people offline persona is their online persona. All right. What I'm saying is, some of these motherfuckers get online, they gonna act the ass. What I'm trying to tell you is, within our lineage, there's gonna be people that act an ass. as even Skeptic said, there's some immigrants that act an ass. It's uneducated. But they happen to be on TikTok. I'm telling y'all, TikTok, what's his name? Zhang Zhu or whatever? That motherfucker, man, hey, he causing division. We're going to blame his ass. The TikTok creator is causing goddamn division like a mug.
Ooh, what side is he on?
He on the money side. Because he getting
No,
money
but
out of
who
all this
is
shit.
he? Is he FBA or a black immigrant?
He an Asian man.
Oh,
The owner of
I think I
TikTok.
know who you're talking about.
He's talking about the guy that created TikTok. That's what he's talking
Oh, okay.
But Skeptic Heaven from the Man Cave. I don't think y'all met yet. She said she'll jump on your TikTok.
Yeah, for sure.
All right.
I won't be on tonight anymore because I'm done for tonight. I've been there all day.
Also, Doc, you cooking in the chat too. And Bawana, man, you gotta call in, bro. We gotta hear your voice, bro. I want to see if you got the African twang. Are you Bahamian, right? I want to see if you got the Bahamian twang, or you feel me? You gotta
He
call
said
in.
he ain't in America. He couldn't even send us a super chat, but RJ did. RJ said, "Have you ever heard of Vicente, a black Mexican president? Do y'all know who he is?" Kamal and Skeptic. I'm assuming.
Yeah. He's the second president of Mexico and also was a big leader in the Mexican Revolution and abolished slavery in Mexico. He was like in the 1920s. So I want to say like Mexico, and he was half, I want to say African, and you can like trace down his lineage, and then half indigenous. So like, and this is why I always like say for immigrants, depending on where you come from, like whatever your history is for your country, when Mexicans come to America, they think that the history of Mexico is going to be applicable to America. When you cross that border and you come to America, you have to learn about the civil rights movement as a Mexican, as a brown person, as an immigrant, because that's the only reason why you have the rights that you have. You'd be at the back of that bus and you wouldn't be able to drink out of the water fountain, and you wouldn't be on that side of the town. And so that I understand the frustration from that, from the black community. I get it, right? And like today we had someone come up and he was like very ignorant and said he was an activist and everyone jumped on him. And I was like, I get the ignorance, but it's not an excuse. Like we've got too much going on where we have to make, improvements, and we advocate for Black and brown unity on the live. That's our basis. Me and Casso came in to advocate for unity. And so we have all of the conversations and we get, we get a little crazy and start talking mess, but we have a lot of racist people come up on there too. So it's a very interesting live. So you guys are always welcome to come on and listen or jump on or comment. Have Twitter fingers. We don't care.
Oh Lord. Mm-mm.
Hey, what y'all think? Y'all think Bawana should call in? He be in the chat a lot.
Buana can't call in. He's not here. He can't even send a super chat. He can't even send a cash app. He's not in America.
Bawana, then why you so worried about
They need to
American
figure it
business?
out.
What'd you
They
say?
need to figure it out. Them and Pan, who they say going to deport everybody. They're going to call ICE on everybody. They did not discriminate. They came after me. They came after y'all. They came after everybody.
If you're watching right now, hit that subscribe button and hit that notification bell. Know when we go live.
Okay, well, we can do closing thoughts. This was a nice conversation, guys. At least we finally had the FBA convo without it getting so.
Nah, Nora, it don't count because we gotta have either Black immigrants or we gotta have first generation.
Okay. See, I don't count as Black immigrant or first generation. You see that? I don't count as anything.
I'm first generation.
I was on the line.
I'm first generation.
Well, no,
American.
you have to be Black, Skeptic. You gotta be.
Gotcha.
Well, Kamal at least considers them Black, but an immigrant Black.
Oh yeah. Hey, we got some. They like, nah, these motherfuckers ain't Black. I'm like, God damn.
Damn. That's diabolical. Anyways, all right, Skeptic, I'll let you go first with your closing thoughts.
Good live. Thank you guys for the topics. They were pretty good topics. And yeah, you guys can come and join TikTok. You can look up Casso or you can look up Skeptic, the Skeptic at Funny Debate Club. I haven't been going live recently, but I sit on the lives. I kind of just join in and then I can mod you in. So just let me know and we'll add you on. try to have civilized conversations, even though they get a little crazy. But yeah, I always say, don't let anyone trample on your constitutional rights.
Yes, thank you, Skeptic. This was a nice talk. Enzo, what's your closing thoughts? Let everybody know where they can find you too for your debates.
So I had to make another account because TikTok loves me. So at the bottom, as it says, ends Gooch. That is my seventh account now. Yeah. So yeah, everybody can find me on TikTok. I do daily debates with liberals talking about why you guys didn't vote for Trump and covering news and a bunch of bullshit. So my closing thoughts, like always, it was a great episode. They just get better and better. I love the unity on tonight's episode. That was great. Candace Owens, let's see the receipts. Let's see what happens in this. I'm gonna be following this because that was interesting. Not just because it's a transgender, whatever it is. The whole pedophilia type thing. I want to know about that. When it comes down to this whole Epstein thing, everyone's talking like, "Oh my God, he knew he was on the list. He knew he's on the list." No shit, Sherlock. We've known he's on the list since the flight logs that came out in 23, since the black book that came out in earlier this year with the rest of the flight logs. This is nothing new. This isn't breaking news, guys. Like, stop huddling around. Oh my God, he knew. Maxwell literally testified that Donald Trump didn't do anything with Jeffrey Epstein. Even if he's on a list in any capacity, doesn't implicate any type of crimes whatsoever. And if the Democrats had him on this list, again, like I keep saying, why wasn't this released in 2024? They could have redacted every other person's name on there and literally just showed the crimes that Donald Trump did. That's it. That's all I'm going to say.
I agree, Enzo. More to come. All right, Kamal, you the man that everybody always likes to hear give their closing thoughts. What's your closing thoughts?
First of all, Enzo, I think they got your shit blocked again, bro. I tried to look you up and I could not find that shit, bro. They keep fucking with your TikToks, bro. I don't know why they're doing that. Like, I tried to search you up, bro, and it was not popping up.
Maybe I typed it in wrong.
Second of all, Skeptic, you know what? I'm gonna try to listen to one of the lives. You feel me? I'll be having a hard time listening to TikTok lives because at some point somebody gonna start fucking arguing, talking over each other, and it's gonna start getting crazy and out of hand. That shit be getting on my goddamn nerves. But I'm gonna try to sit in on the live. You feel me? I sat in on a couple of y'all lives. You feel me? And it's just like, it's like what you said, Skeptic, is like some people just get in and it's just that TikTok realm. They just disrupt every fucking thing. So, but I'm gonna try to sit through like at least 30 minutes on one for real. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I'll share it to you. I'll send you a share.
Yeah, send it to me so I could sit in. I'm gonna sit in for 30 minutes. You feel me? And hopefully nobody don't be how usual on TikTok and be disruptive and say some bullshit. Second of all, John, appreciate the compliment on the shirt. You feel me? Say I look like a professor out here. I appreciate that. Doc, you was cooking in the goddamn chat. You feel me? Bawana, you was cooking with hyena meat, bro, as usual. I appreciate you, bro. At least you could take a joke. You know what I mean? We got some people that can't take a joke, so I appreciate you, bro. Even though your joke's corny as hell and you can't call in because you got bad Wi-Fi in the Bahamas. Also, Candace Owens, there's no protecting Candace Owens over here. You feel me? She done put her foot in her mouth enough. But I will say this though. I would not say she's lying or right about Macaron, that woman being a transgender. I saw the pictures. Still out for debate. Who else? I'm tired of the whole rogue MAGA out here talk about Obama, what happened in 2016. It sounds like the same shit when the Democrats be talking about what Donald Trump did in 2008 on Apprentice and some shit like that. I'm tired of all that shit. Tell us what's going on presently, all right? And what else do I gotta say? I pinned the new party on the top of my chat. If y'all watching on my end, y'all go to the new party hit the notification bell for them so you know when they go live, not only for the new party, but also the man cave, you feel me? Also, if you're on my end, Kamal Johnson Network, hit the notification bell so you know when I go live, you know what I mean, sub to the channel and stuff like that. And like I say, you know what I mean, Nora and Gray, I appreciate y'all for y'all having this, you know, the new party and having us on here. We're able to discuss our differences in kind of a civil way, you feel me, and bring some comedy into this shit. And at the end of the day, this is the thing that we need to do to expand our mind and expand us as people. And you already know I'm always going to be fighting for my foundational Black Americans, which is a lineage, by the way. And Bawana, man, you got to mail me some of that fucking cheetah meat, man. I heard is good if you cook it right, bro. And I'm done with that. And Gray, man, damn, you said we we out here causing $5 Indians.
That was funny. My final thoughts are great show, everybody. Shout out to the panel. Shout out to everyone in the chat. Yeah, and like this story just keeps getting bigger and bigger, so we'll try to keep bringing you the best information. And so you guys know, Nora is the executive producer. So if y'all don't like stuff on the man cave, she the one that picked it anyway. I didn't pick it. So
what? Diabolical.
So yeah, we do this Monday through Thursday, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Keep rocking with us. We'll keep bringing you guys more information and guests and keep it interesting and entertaining for you guys. Like we always say on New Party, always vote.
Oh God. Just throw me under the bus, right? But nevertheless, guys, thank you so much for watching. And yes, I am the executive producer, and I want to say shout out to our fans and shout out to the New Party team. We had record numbers this week as we shared some truth. We had a guest on that shared his experience when he was doxxed. It was an unfortunate situation, but thank you to everyone supporting us. We had a record 8,000 views, so thank you to everyone, and thank you to the team. Thank you to Skeptic. Thank you to Enzo. Thank you to Gray. Thank you to Kamal. Thank you to Mia, and the Man Cave team as well. So my closing thoughts are this: in a world full of chaos, confusion, and endless opinions, never forget to put God first. Let him be your compass in the chaos, and never stop questioning what you're told. Blind belief is dangerous. Put faith that seeks understanding is powerful. Stay grounded, stay curious, and always search for the truth, because truth doesn't fear scrutiny and God doesn't fear your questions. So guys, we are entitled to question things. So shout out to all Americans that are questioning things and here to seek the truth. And we will continue to give you the truth. God bless and good night.